Well, good evening, everybody. We are here once again with the giant African land snails at the Legless Zoo. It's actually quite early this evening. Everyone has woken up very early this evening. I don't know why. We've had quite the heat wave, so that might have something to do with it. It's only about 7:30, 7:45 p.m. here in the UK. These guys normally get up round about 9 or 10 at night, so we're up a little bit early this evening. Hi there! So this is Helvetica. This is a lovely shot of your face, Helvetica. That's very cute. This is why Helvetica is colloquially referred to as a flight risk. They're super active, and they just love climbing things. Don't you, buddy? So we'll keep an eye on you and make sure that you don't decide to make a break for it. But this is quite nice, actually. You can see how good these snails are at climbing and sticking to things. They are incredibly strong, and their slime and their suction from their foot is incredibly strong. They're very heavy snails. So Wingdings over there, who is the largest of the three, is nearly 600 grams. They are a big, hefty snail. And even Gumball here, who's doing their very happy little snail face. So this little antennae straight up is a very happy snail face, a little happy eating snail face there. Even Gumball is about 500 grams. So these are big, big, heavy snails. But they are incredibly good at climbing, and despite their weight, they can actually stick very, very well. I have seen these guys climbing on the inside of the lid when their enclosure is closed, so they can actually climb upside down. Something that, I'll be honest, surprised me. I think I probably presumed they were too heavy to be able to do that, but they very much can. Did you startle yourself for a second there, Helvetica? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'll see if I can get some of the more interesting features of this species for you since they're out and about. You can see here that there is a dark stripe here down the middle of their back. This is very characteristic of Marginata ovum. It might be, maybe it's obvious. It might be, I don't know how well this comes through. So you can see that Helvetica here is a kind of brownish buff color with that dark stripe, and they're dark grey there on the ends of their antennae. You can also see this on Wingdings over here, that they are a kind of paler sort of buff brown color compared to Gumball, who is much, much darker. Now, I don't know if this is individual variation with this species. I know that there is obviously individual variation, as there is with any species of animals. But something I have noticed is that when I first got these three, Helvetica here was closer in colour to Gumball than they were to Wingdings. But actually they've lightened up in the almost year that I've had them. And their colour now much more resembles Wingdings than it does Gumball. So I don't know if this is a thing where they get paler as they get older. I really don't know. But that's certainly something that's been the case with Helvetica anyway. Something else that we can maybe see here, since Helvetica is being such an accommodating model, very much appreciate that, little buddy, is you can see here this edge to the opening of their shell where they are exiting their shell, and they have this quite thickened, dark, rolled edge. So in snails, as they're growing, it's a little bit like with human bones, where when we're growing, the ends of our bones, especially our long bones, don't have a fused end. They have what we call a growth plate because you're still growing. So with snails, the growing edge is this edge here. So when they are younger, they will grow their shell this way. So it grows downwards like this. As adults, though, you get this really thickened, reinforced, dark, rolled edge, and that's when sort of their equivalent of a growth plate has fused. So what that means is they're fully adult and their shell will not grow anymore past that point. This is why they tend to need less calcium than the babies do, because they're done growing, and any calcium that they need is mostly just to keep their diet balanced. And also, if they have any damage to their shell, they can to some extent repair that. But generally speaking, they just don't need as much. Similarly, they don't need as much protein because, again, they're not actively growing in the same way. This is really nice. I'm really glad to see them eating. They ate quite well a few days ago. They had been off, I don't want to say off food, they had been eating less enthusiastically lately. And on consultation with some more expert snail keepers, apparently that's quite normal, both for adults because their nutritional needs are less, but also specifically in the summer when it's quite hot, they often tend to eat less and conserve energy in the heat. So really nice to see them eating. Oh, some good. Oh, look at the happy droopies from Wingdings here. Oh, I love this. We've got happy droopies from Wingdings and happy little exclamation marks from Gumball. That's adorable. That's very sweet. Helvetica continuing whatever mountaineering expedition this currently is. You guys are so cute. So yeah, they're up quite early this evening, which is really nice. So I thought that we could have a look at them. And yeah, you'll notice here that, I don't know if you can see it very easily actually on camera. I'll maybe see if I can zoom in. So Wingdings, who's the largest of the three, you can see they have a slight chip from their shell here, which is an old injury. It's very minor. It's obviously not very deep. It's just a couple of layers of their shell. They had this when I got them, and I've spoken to their original owner who rescued them in the first place. And they had this when she had them as well. So I don't know if these guys might have been wild caught, or if this is just something that perhaps happened in the wild, or maybe when they were being transported. Hard to say, but it certainly doesn't bother them at all anymore, and they are doing absolutely fine. My goodness, Helvetica. But this is really nice to see them up and about and eating. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see what kind of space they have to work with. So I'm just going to lift this up. There we go. This tub is, I honestly can't remember, it's something like 160 or 100, maybe 60 or 80, I can't remember. It's 160 or 180 litres. I'm afraid I don't know what that is in gallons or whatever for anyone in the US. But it's a fairly substantial tub. It's over 1 metre long and about 1/2 metre wide. So it's pretty substantial. You can see that I've cut and fixed some ventilation here as well, just to make sure that it stays well aerated, because this is a very humid environment. It's very damp and we don't want it to get too stuffy. We want some nice, good air circulation here. But yes, I would like, although you can see they have lots of room to move around here, relatively speaking, and they do use all of the space, I would like to give them more room if I can. So far, this has been the largest tub that I've been able to find. If I can find a bigger one that's also transparent so they can get some light and have, you know, a day-night cycle, then that'd be great. But at the moment, I've not been able to find one. But if and when I do, they will get a bit of an upgrade and get more room. You can see here we're still having a little bit of a fruit fly issue here at the Legless Zoo. It is getting a lot better, which is nice, but we are still having a few here and there. So we'll just chase those off. There we go. We do have some traps in this room to try and get rid of them and hopefully not have them get too much out of control. It is worth pointing out they do not bother the snails at all. This causes them no problems and no harm. They are just fruit flies. The only way in which they're problematic is they annoy me. So they do no harm to the snails. They are absolutely fine with it. It doesn't bother them in the slightest. I'll see if I can zoom in here and you can see, oh, I don't know if you can see, there we go, little snail munches. You can see where they've been munching away at that. You can see the nibbles. Let's see if we can see your mouth going, actually. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's a very happy snail. My neighbours actually have an allotment and they very kindly gave us some absolutely massive courgettes, or zucchini if you're in the States. They're absolutely huge. They gave us quite a few of them. And the nice thing about that is this is courgettes that have been grown on an allotment with no pesticides, no fertilizer, nothing like that. So they're about as close to organic as you can get, I guess, in terms of growing things yourself. So this is a really nice treat for these guys. These are fresh from a local allotment. Are you done trying to escape, Helvetica? I'm very pleased. That's good. Oh, some more droopies from Wingdings back there. So yeah, we're just spending some time hanging out with these guys, and they are doing really well. I did have some concerns that the heat wave might have caused them some issues. Thankfully, this room stays quite cool compared to my bedroom, which tends to get more direct light than this one does. So this has actually stayed a nice constant temperature for these guys and doesn't seem to have bothered them at all. We, of course, do make sure that they always have water available, even though they do tend to spill it and get in it a lot. But they're doing really well. So there we go, folks. This is an update on the 3 adults that we have here. These are our Archachinata marginata ovum. We have Wingdings with the purple, Gumball with the green, and Helvetica with the blue. And they're just doing really well, which is really nice to see. There we go. Let's see if we can get all 3 of you in frame at the same time. To get a sense of their size, actually, I might very briefly, let me see if I can, I don't want to disturb them too much. So I'll just put my hand in here. There we go. You can see that these are some heckin' big snails. So they are big, hefty friends. There we go. Enjoy your picnic, buddies. It's nice to see you munching away. And Helvetica, of course, very on brand. Just being the adventurer of the trio. So, there we go, folks. Our 3 adults doing really well, enjoying some munchies, and coping surprisingly well with the heat wave we are having right now. Ooh, there we go. If any of you guys also have giant land snails, feel free to let me know. There aren't many keepers of giant land snails out there, but I have come across a couple. So do let me know what you keep, how many you have, if they have names. And yeah, I'm interested to meet up with other giant snail appreciators here in the UK. But that's enough for now. This is already getting a little bit long. Yeah, this is already getting a bit long, so we'll cut it here. But just wanted to show you guys how these 3 are doing. There we go.